Welcome, everybody, to Next Gen Leadership Live. I'm your host, Jimmy Ryan. Today is part 3 of a 3-part series with the business architect, Craig Davis, leader of the Ascend Experience. Welcome, Craig. What's up, man?
What is happening? Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Bro, this series has been just excellent. And I know I've shared this with you offline, but I mean, it's like, it really has made me think. And I have personally rewatched the videos. And I would encourage anybody, if you're just joining us right now on part 3, watch 1 and 2. And even the intro of it is excellent as well. But a lot of great nuggets, a lot of great things that you can use and you can use right now in prep for 2025. So a brief recap is we talked about vision. That's the 10,000 foot view. We talked about strategy. That's the 1,000-foot view. And now we're going to talk about ground level. We're going to talk about execution. And Craig, I'm looking forward to this, man. I'm ready to take some notes. So awesome. kick us off, man.
Yeah, no, and by the way, I love doing this. Like, it's a fun conversation because it's what generates results, but not only generates results, it's like it puts us into a flow state. So we're always in motion in pursuit of wherever that goal or the business plan or, so it's not specific to job role or industry or anything like that. Right. And so that's why I call it your business blueprint. And I joke, and I mean, I call myself your business architect because that's what we're doing. We're just architecting your business blueprint. And we keep it simple. The fundamentals, these concepts are simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. And that's, and I think that's why it's important that we do it. Right. So, okay. So let's recap a little bit. The first thing we started talking about is, okay, we need to understand what I call your key business pillars. These are your verticals that support and drive your business forward. That gives us clarity that allows us to then jump into each one of our business verticals. And then we know how to fine tune. It creates agility in our leadership, our sales drive, and so much more. Then within each one of these pillars, we have a vision, strategy, and execution, right? So, vision, that's our 10,000 feet. Where are we going? Why does it matter? Why should anyone care? Someone who has a vision right now is my dog, Callie, who has a vision to go outside and chase a squirrel. So she has a strategy to now tell me, hey, Dad, I'm going to kind of whine and bark at you. That's her at 1,000 feet. And now execution at sea level is me going to open the door. So give me a second.
I love it. Dude, this is just great. Always great to have a little ad lib out of it. And now she's not even going out.
Now she's just standing here looking at me, right? To implement a whole new strategy. So our vision, right? Where are we going? Why does it matter? And especially if you're in management or leadership, why should anyone care? What does it have to do with them? How's it going to improve their life? Okay. Then we go to strategy. And that's what we talked about last week.
Yep.
Now that's 1,000 feet. Your strategy is what feeds your vision. This is important. It's important because a lot of times we kind of skip over this and go right to execution, which is just our actions, our doing, right? Our tactics, all this stuff. It's just our actions. Now, in one hand, hey, let's err on the side of action. Okay, I get it. And no problem. I get it. However, this is the problem. When we put our actions ahead of our strategy, then it creates this constant start, stop, pursue this goal, chase the squirrel, start, stop, right? Whack-a-mole management, right? So that is why we got to take this step back. We have to generate this business blueprint. Let's architect our business. So we have clarity. We know how to succeed, where we're going, how to innovate. This allows us to pivot and adapt or change. Whatever the goal, whatever the business plan is, we launch from this. And the reality is we just create a general flow from here. And we just fine tune as we go, right? So we don't have to create business plans all the time and all this crap that we were talking about earlier. Like, how many times have you created a business plan in December, maybe just to satisfy your boss, and you never look at it again? That's the problem. This is the solution. So let's talk about execution now. So here's a great example. Here we are. Rates are starting to come down. So very common. Okay, rates are coming down. Start calling for refis, right? That's a very justifiable action. And we need to be doing that. Once again, we start doing that and we're putting action ahead of a strategy. And that creates this start, stop, start, stop. we have a refi season and then we don't have a refi season. And then all of a sudden, now we're scrambling to get our marketing or our database or our CM in check, or we got a call, but we're not quite ready for a refi yet. So maybe I don't call yet. I'm going to wait for the rates to come in check. But then in that time period of waiting, all of a sudden the call center is on top of my client. Let's do something different. Let's do something different.
Right.
So instead, let's create a, what's our business pillar here? If I'm an originator, a branch manager, an executive, I'm going to lead a customer for life vision. Right. So so why don't you share the screen right here that I put up a little bit earlier? So this is an example of a business pillar. So just to kind of tie in this whole conversation. All right. So my business pillar is I want to stand up this vertical, a customer for life vertical. That's going to support and drive my business forward. Okay, perfect. Now, here's my vision for that. I want to create a customer for life with a focus on strategic financing that creates a home of strength, not stress, and equity over debt. And I want the result of that to be referrals and purchases and refis and gratitude. I want my clients to be gracious for the service and the support and the love that I'm providing in my business. That's a noble vision. That's how I've always run my visions when I was in leadership and management. And it's similar to how I run my, vision, certainly as a coach, and right now. Okay, so cool. There's customer for life. Okay, so one strategy that would feed that vision, well, I want to use Mortgage Coach as my consultative effort, because Mortgage Coach, that's going to give me the right conduit to have strategic financing conversations, for example. So, okay, what do I need to do? What are my actions? Well, I'm going to do a TCA with every consultation. I'm going to give a minimum of 3 financing options for the purpose of opening up strategic financing conversations and then allowing the borrower, my client, to help make the decision, right? And then I'm also going to be part of the Mortgage Coach community, so I'm learning from other experts and whatnot. Okay, that's one of my strategies. My other strategy is I will have a quarterly reason to call. So I'm keeping in touch with my client every quarter, not just, oh crap, it's time to refi, right? No, I have a reason to call. I'm staying in touch. So what are my execution points? Well, I got to have my CRM built accordingly. So my CRM is telling me what to say and when to say it and reminding me, right? And then what are my reasons to call? Do a mortgage review, maybe do a property tax evaluation, hey, we're not ready to refi yet, so we're just checking in, we're preparing, we're planning, etc. Right? And there's also personal keep in touch. Okay, that's one of my strategies. Oh, wait a second. That sounds a lot like, should I just call for refis? No. The refi is just a result of this, right? And so, as you can see, another strategy is my personal brand. I'm going to be marketing my personal brand to create customer for life. That means I'm educating, be it social media, be it emails. I'm educating, I'm explaining, and I'm energizing, right? That's going to be just sort of the tone of my content on an ongoing basis, all feeding into a customer for life strategy, right? A customer for life vision. So this is a simple business pillar. Refis are just a result of this. It's not a reaction to lowering of rates. It's a pro-action. So I'm generating refis as a result of the opportunity that lowering rates is providing. So that's a mouthful. I'm going to pause right there, Jim. I want to get your feedback here.
So I'm just thinking about this as, I think Ryan Grant says it's the best, is like, let's just say a customer calls you and they say, hey, I want a refi. Is that a good or bad thing? And then everybody raises their hand. Yeah, it's good. And I did that too, by the way. I raised my hand. Yeah, it's good. He's like, that's wrong. He says it right on the stage. So everybody holding up their hand looks like an idiot.
Yeah.
You need to be proactively reaching out. If somebody calls you, it means they're reaching out with the need. You should have foreseen their need and been reaching out to them proactively already.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking at it too, like there's kind of like micro strategies too with this. So like, for instance, doing a TCA. Well, how are you doing your TCA? Are you showing above par rates, below par rates, par rate, and then comparing the break-even points and actually giving good advice and asking them how long they're going to have this mortgage for, not the house, but the mortgage? And then what's the strategy with that? Is there a long-term refi play just on the start of it? CRM follow-up. Don't make me think. I don't want to log into a CRM and then search.
Yeah.
It should be in front of me and it should just be happening. And there should be good lead management with it, not just a place to digitally put stuff. And I'm just looking at it like, I think that there could be a lot of micro stuff with this as well. And for me, I tend to get lost in the broad
Details.
and then the details, and then I tend to get overwhelmed. And I think a lot of people share that.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you just where in this do you ready, fire, aim? Because in a lot of senses, you're basically saying don't ready, fire, aim.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But execution, there's call reluctance. There's just doing things reluctance. Maybe you haven't done a TCA before, or set up a CRM. Maybe you're on a spreadsheet. Maybe it's a heavy lift. And where do you just freaking execute? Just actually do it. And like the vision's good, the strategy good enough. Let's execute. When do you make that call?
So first, let's just get our context right. I think this is a Confucius quote. It's a great quote. Like the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago or today.
Right.
So everything you're saying is, yeah, but that can also facilitate we're in the same just start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. I'm all over the place. So again, we got to take a step back. We have to take the time to do this business blueprint. We just have to. Otherwise, nothing changes.
Right.
So if we take the time and just acknowledge, okay, this is my customer for life vision. These are the strategies I want to implement that feeds the vision. And these are the action items that drive the strategy. Now, executing on all of this, we just begin. We just begin. No pressure. Today's a great day to plant a tree. And guess what? 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and so on, you're going to be so happy and thankful that you did that today, right? Like, have you ever looked back in your career and said, I wish I did that a month ago? This is that month ago, and this is why doing this is so critically important. Now, I'm not saying stop doing or not do until this is not a things are perfect, then go execute. This is, instead of going side to side, we're going to go forward with clarity. This is about clarity. And if you have clarity, then we have much less stress and overwhelm. We have much less anxiety. We know where to execute and how. And you're right. You're going to peel down and back and like, okay, but I first have to learn how to use mortgages. Great. So sign up for that training. Start attending the webinars. Okay. And then we just continue. So it's really just one step after another, as simple as that sounds. But look at now your actions. This goes back to my original point. Wherever you're at in this, it's now all aligned in a customer for life strategy, not just hair on fire. If I had hair, go, go, go. Right.
Same.
So that's my point. So I really like, like, let's just take a step back, right? My job, like my whole purpose in life, I'm trying to make your life easier, not harder. This is not meant to add extra work. It's not meant to, and especially if you're kind of feeling pressure, like, oh crap, I got to do all this. Well, the first thing we just got to acknowledge what do you want to do, right? Again, there's our vision. Right. How are we going to do it? Okay, there's our strategy. And then what are the things that we do that integrates all that? Okay, cool. Those are action items. So this is meant to reduce, and I'm going to help you do that. So with that said, let me just plug real quick. So I'm going to offer a free business blueprint webinar next Wednesday, October 9th at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I will walk through these concepts again. I will give you this document that I just showed you. So here's your simple business pillar, so you can create your blueprint. And then you just have one of these for every one of your verticals. Great. Here it is. You will never not know what to do. And then to your point, when we do have obstacles, or I might have call reluctance, or I don't know how to do this, no problem. We remove obstacles, right? And we create agility. So we know how to execute, where to execute, and who can help, right? This is not all on your shoulders. You have help. Whether you know it or not, you have help. And I will help you find that and get there. So you are executing diligently. This is how, throughout my 20 years in sales, management, leadership, what I say is this is how I've moved mountains in leadership. When all of a sudden I have to take on a massive amount of projects and roles and initiatives for a company at a grand scale, right? You can't just take all that on. You can't eat the elephant in one bite. And this is how I've been able to move mountains, is what I say. This is how, when I reinvented and launched my business, this is how I've launched my business and support it as an entrepreneur now. When I am everything from CFO to CEO to the janitor to the receptionist to the marketing, like all of it, right? It's just, that's a lot. I get overwhelmed. This helps me with clarity. And this is a tool I use, with my clients, to help them execute and energize that execution, right? Like, be in that flow. So it doesn't matter if it's recruiting and growth, profitability, sales, prospecting, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the job role. It doesn't matter the industry. This is a concept. This is a foundation. These are the bricks in your foundation. We're just going to build the house. That's why I call myself the business architect. We're just architecting your business. And this is how we do it.
So, I just typed this out.
Oh, perfect.
Literally on the spot. Is that right? 10/9/11:30 PST?
Yeah. And I have, I have a QR code that I can also share if you'd like.
Share it on the screen. And then I just want to say, for anybody viewing this either now or later, type a comment, say, hey, I'd like information on this. And then we'll shoot you a DM and get your email. And then we can add you to the list. But here's a QR code. I'll remove this so it works.
Yeah, just go to my website. My website is ascendxc.com. And then this page is the business blueprint. So ascendxc.com/blueprint. That's where this page is. And then you can register for free for the webinar there. So, and this will be on my socials. I'm going to start pushing this out, today. So, find me on the socials. Definitely try to follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, all the good stuff. And happy to help. Like, I love this subject. Like, this is fun for me. Like, I love executing and helping people drive their vision and their strategy. Like, this is fun for me. This is what gets me up in the morning. Like, this is part of my purpose, so.
Bro, you were definitely passionate about it. And we were talking about this too before offline. Your life experience and work experience, being in leadership roles for lots of people reporting to you.
Yeah.
Like, even if you were bad at it, at some point you're going to figure it out, like you got to. So like the trial and error has already been done, is my point. And
well, that's a good point, because I'm coming from practicality. This is not coming from some business book I just read.
Right.
Like, I don't even like calling myself a coach in a lot of ways, because I'm a player, right? I just happen to be a player coach now. But these are fundamentals. This is practicality. This is real world. This is what I do and have done, and how, so I think that's what makes it real. It's not, what I learned in grad school or some crap like that,
100%. I would just say, like, I think that you really aren't going to execute at a high level if you don't have vision or strategy beforehand. Yeah. And I think that that's where a lot of people fail. And it's, I think another way to look at it is that we're not goal setting, we're habit setting. And, and the habits are the execution.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a strong why and that strong vision to actually have the discipline to keep on going, and if you don't have a good strategy, like you just didn't write one, it's just, it all has to come together as one cohesive thing. And unless that's happening, the likelihood of failure is just so high. And that whack-a-mole is living in whack-a-mole type of start-stop is exhausting. Yeah. And that's where people really do fail. And believe me, I've done it. And I think everybody has. Like, you can really relate if you've been in business for a while and have started something. We're going to do it, and then you don't. And then you start it again. We're going to do it. And then you don't. And it's like, that's so exhausting.
It is.
And it's not just exhausting for you. It's exhausting on your team. Yeah. Your team hates that. You're basically a bad leader.
Yeah.
So, my brother, this has been great. I think I think we're going to call it. We're coming up on 20 minutes. So I want to remind everybody, next on October 9th at 11:30 PST, Pacific Standard Time, free vision, strategy, and execution workshop. Check it out, ascendxc.com/blueprint. And we'll put the QR code back up here too if you want to quick scan this. Please do. Highly recommend it. You know, Craig is not just a personal friend of mine, but he comes very highly recommended by everybody. I mean, anybody that knows you, you're the Sherpa.
Yeah.
And we got Katrina making a comment here. Oh, well, she sent a super long URL. Katrina, thanks for the love. Thanks for the LinkedIn in love. But Eric, that will be on LinkedIn. So if you're watching us LinkedIn, the link is going to be right down there. And all right, I want to thank everybody for joining us. And I mean, what a great series, man. I please watch this whole thing again. I know I'm going to myself. And we will see you again next week on Momentum Builder Next Gen Leadership Live.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Craig.